Millions of people worldwide face low incomes, limited opportunities, and a constant struggle to survive. It feels like almost every major global issue stems from simply not having enough cash. So it is completely natural to wonder, why don't governments just fire up the presses, print more money, and hand it out? Wealth exists in the tangible things we produce and consume: the bread, the fuel, the housing. Money is the counting system we use to track the value of those assets. Expanding the total supply of that currency without increasing the physical stuff you can buy with it devalues the counting system. It effectively destroys wealth. To understand why this happens, we are going to bypass gut feelings and break down the exact math of money. We will track how a single printed dollar behaves at the consumer level, ripples through a nation, and ultimately crashes against the global market. Trusting intuition over hard monetary math is how entire nations print themselves into systemic economic collapse. Let's look at a closed economy in perfect equilibrium. We have 5 people, each holding $5, and a local bakery with exactly 5 loaves of bread. Everyone buys 1 loaf, and the system works perfectly. Now, the government decides to step in and double the money supply. They hand an extra $5 to each person. With $10 in hand, everyone attempts to buy 2 loaves instead of 1. But the bakery still only has 5 loaves of bread. The baker notices 10 people competing for the same limited supply and raises the price from $5 to $10. Everyone spends all their new money, yet they still walk away with exactly 1 loaf. Their purchasing power remains the same. The bakery might try to scale up production to meet this demand, but they quickly hit a physical wall. Wheat must be grown on fields, and fields have a fixed physical footprint. As every bakery competes to buy more wheat, they drive the price of raw materials through the roof, forcing the price of bread even higher. The extra cash failed to improve the individual standard of living. It simply diluted the value of the money itself. This bakery example reflects macroeconomic reality. When real governments ignore this math and print their way out of debt, mathematical reality crushes them. After losing World War I, the Weimar Republic faced total economic ruin. Their infrastructure was destroyed, and the Allied forces demanded massive war reparations through the Treaty of Versailles that the German government could not afford. Desperate to pay off international debt, the government recklessly printed cash. By November 1923, prices were doubling every few hours. A single loaf of bread that cost 250 marks in January skyrocketed to 200 billion marks. Citizens needed wheelbarrows full of currency just to buy basic necessities. In 2007, Zimbabwe faced a similar crisis. Following the end of the minority-led regime, the government under Robert Mugabe redistributed agricultural land. Many of the new farmers lacked commercial experience, causing national food production to drop sharply. To cover its expenses amid dropping production, the government printed massive amounts of currency. By 2008, inflation hit 89.7 sextillion% per year. The Zimbabwean dollar became worthless, with stacks of cash required to buy a few eggs. In Venezuela, the trigger was different, but the math was identical. The nation sits on the world's largest oil reserves, and for years they poured that oil revenue into massive public subsidies while global prices were high. When oil prices crashed after 2008, the revenue vanished. Unwilling to cut subsidies, the government chose to print money to fund them. The bolivar lost all purchasing power, leading citizens to literally throw valueless cash into the streets. Every attempt to bypass physical production limits results in the destruction of the national economy. But wait, if domestic inflation is the problem, why doesn't a government just print money and use it strictly to pay off foreign debt? The global market detects expansion immediately through exchange rates and inflation indicators. When a central bank increases its total money supply, the currency's value drops on the international stage in real time. Foreign creditors understand this math. They refuse to accept newly printed, devalued currency because it slashes the real value of the debt they are owed. Printing money for international debts proves to the world that a currency is untrustworthy, destroying a nation's borrowing credibility and international stability. True economic prosperity relies on the creation of real physical value, rather than the speed of a printing press. To combat poverty without triggering inflation, the physical supply of goods must grow. Governments achieve this by investing in education and sustainable infrastructure. factors that allow businesses to produce goods more efficiently and scale up actual national output. This increased production creates sustainable jobs. Because the new income is earned through the creation of real value, demand remains aligned with the supply of products, preventing the artificial price spikes caused by unearned cash injections. Nations that follow this production-first model, such as Japan and South Korea, build stable economies where market competition keeps prices in check while living standards rise. Billions of dollars are meaningless if there is no bread on the shelves. True wealth is found in the goods and services a society actually produces, because you cannot eat paper currency.